We're Hassani and Danielle Pettiford, and we're a real couple with real problems who almost called it quits.
I was very frustrated. I became very disconnected, very jaded and cold.
We have 4 children, going on 20 years of marriage, and we practice what we preach.
Our mission, to change the way couples relate to one another and teach them the skills needed to improve the quality of their relationships. This is the Couples Academy Show.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Couples Academy Show. My name is Hassani. Good to be with you wherever you're tuning in from. We're in a great series. We're in something we're going to stick with for a minute. It's been a while since we had something that we were going to take the time to unpack in a comprehensive way, but we're talking about micro-cheating. This is an extension of that conversation. We had a part 1 and a part 2. And then yesterday we talked about, what is it that your spouse found in the affair partner? And in that process, I began to unpack this concept called the dangerous partner profile. And we're going to dive into that conversation today and take our time with it and give you an understanding. Many people are still trying to figure out the why. Why him? Why her? What was it about what you had? What were we missing? Well, you're going to get all those questions in this series, so stay tuned. We want you to share with as many people as you know, because you're not the only one who is stuck in this space of, I don't know and I don't understand. So we're going to make sure you get what you need. But before we go there, as you know, we got a quick announcement. Next weekend is the Last Chance Weekend. We're excited about it. We have couples flying and driving in, and we want you to see what you have the opportunity of still taking advantage of. All you need to do is reach out to us, set up a discovery call so that we can get you in. We're excited about what we have for this group. Check us out. We'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm welcoming you. Facebook, YouTube family are here. We are bringing in an Instagram community as well. Last night, I see you, sis. Shali says, you were amazing on IG last night. Thank you, sis. There was a live that we were a part of. There were 2,000 people in the room from around the world, and we had a great conversation about why we love women. Why we love women, and it was a fascinating conversation. You may be able to still find it over there. I'm still getting familiar with the Instagram world. I have a powerful producer that's helping us to really step up in that space, and so follow us. If you're on Instagram, follow us at Couples Academy. Now listen, before we get started, all I ask of you, I feel like I don't want to have a parasitical relationship with you guys where I'm giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. Danielle and I are giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and getting nothing in return. The only thing that we ask from you in return is to share this with someone else. That's it. Like, share it with someone else. We are trying to reach millions of people around the world because people are hurting. So help us help others. All it takes is a click of a button. Is this program worth that? Is this all for you? Did you just come in here thinking, well, me, myself, and I, and what I got to get for myself and bump everybody else? Or are you about paying it forward, pushing it forward, actually clicking the share button and moving the video forward so that we all can benefit for what we're doing. All right, let's get into this conversation, guys. Once again, I want to give you some foundation. A dangerous partner profile, we were talking about what that is. These are the reasons why you may or your spouse may have had an instant attraction for someone else. Here we go. Someone you have an immediate or passionate attraction for. We don't hold the same attraction for every person. What attracts you to one person is different than what attracts you to someone else. Now, there are 8 components. Let's go through those 8 components. Number 1, developmental lags. You may want to take a snapshot of this. Number 2, personality styles, okay? Number 3, hobbies and interests. Number 4, attachment patterns. Number 5, family of origin. 6, marital void. Number 7, pursuit pattern. And number 8, internal age. So for those of us who simplify, oh, it was a sexual thing, it was a physical thing, there was nothing in that list that even indicated anything about anything physical. So, society has us to believe, because most affairs become sexual, that was the origin, that was the drive, that was the intent. And this is what makes it so dangerous, because sometimes you don't even see it coming. It's more dangerous when it comes on you and you didn't even anticipate it than something you're consciously aware of. So this forces us now to be conscious of our unconscious thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in terms of how we show up and how we interact and how we face the world. Now, once again, we say when an affair occurs, it's a result of something that's happening inside of the relationship, and most people go there. Well, what was wrong with me, and how was our relationship so bad that you had to do this? But it's not always the case. Yes, there are issues we have in relationships that can lead someone into an affair. But think about it. Many couples have these problems, and an affair does not take place. So why did it happen here? Because it's also something that's going on inside of the person. Remember, if you take 10 couples and they all experience the same exact thing, the impact that it has on each couple will be different. And that impact is determined by what's going on inside of a person. Does that make sense? And so these 8 components will give us a deeper dive into what this actually looks like. So the first thing that we want to talk about is this whole concept of developmental lags, plural, developmental lags. Okay, so what is this? This is when an individual ages too quickly, okay? And because they age too quickly, let me give you an example. Think about a fruit on a tree, right? It's an apple tree, and you want to eat that apple, but you pick it too quickly, right? You pick it too fast. It didn't properly develop. It didn't go through the natural growth or the growth process to become a ripe apple. So you bite it and it's bitter and it's not sweet because it didn't go through the process. Think about a fruit that you picked too late, right? You pick it and it's soft and it's brown and it's mushy. Maybe there's worms in it. You picked it too late, right? You were outside of its natural season. Well, likewise, in life, sometimes we can race into things too quickly or take too long. It makes me think about the 4 seasons of a successful relationship: the dating season, committed courtship, engagement, and marriage. You see people who've been dating for 2 months get married, right? They've known each other for 3 days and they got married. They didn't go through the proper process, if you will, these 4 seasons to build a healthy foundation for marriage. So oftentimes they're not prepared for it. They race through, skipped over seasons. Likewise, when it comes to developmental lag, this is someone who was forced to grow up, forced to be an adult, forced to age, forced to mature too quickly. So there was something lost within that person. So let me give you examples of how this plays itself out. What if you are in a household where a parent, as an example, struggles with addictions, Okay, whether it's alcoholism or maybe it is a drug addiction, and you're experiencing the trauma of that and the impact of that in the home. And so you as a child, you saw things that you should not have seen. You experienced things that you were not ready for, and it aged you, it matured you, it robbed you of your innocence. Maybe you have a sibling that's suffering from a chronic, debilitating illness. And so because all of the attention is now on that sibling, it requires you to step up and take on a responsibility in the household that you weren't prepared for, you didn't want to do. There's a disability of a family member, there's an absent parent, right? So now because there's an absent parent and there's no father in the home, you now have to step up and be, what your father should have been. Or maybe there's no mother in the home and now your father's working, all day, all night, and you have to step up and play a role of helping out with the other siblings and taking on duties and responsibilities in the household that you were not ready for. Maybe there are high parental expectations of you. And so there's no time to be playing with your friends. You need to get serious about schoolwork. It's all about work, and we got to plan for your future, and you got to do this, and you got to look like that, and you got to, like, all these demands and expectations. Think about somebody who is very precocious. They have a talent, and so, we have to develop that talent, and we need to get you in these programs, and we need to get you this training. Perfect example. Think about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is an individual who experienced developmental lag. Here he is, 5 years old. He enters into show business. He's forced to have a lifestyle and a regimen daily that the average 50-year-old may not have, and he's doing it at 5 years old. He's traveling all over the country. He's doing shows. He's doing interviews. He doesn't have a normal childhood. He has been robbed of it, right? So he becomes of age. And now in his adulthood, he, just like anybody, all these examples I'm giving you, this is what happens. Once they reach a certain age, it's almost like there's a setback. Because they've skipped over natural seasons of their life, they revert back to those younger days. And what happens is, now what are they doing? They're playing in amusement parks. They're building amusement parks and zoos in their backyard, Michael Jackson, right? He's around other kids. I'm not getting into whether he did anything with those kids. That mess wasn't even proven. But he just loved being around kids. Why? Because he missed that element of his life. And so this is what we would call developmental lag. So what happens is, when you skip over these entire seasons of your life, you have a tendency to connect with other people who also have experienced that type of trauma or missed that type of development. And it's just like, you know what? Here I am, and I'm an adult. I have all these responsibilities. I'm taking care of all these kids. I'm doing all these things. I need to break away and tap back into a youthful childhood aspect of my life that I never had. And so this is why we see people shrinking from responsibility, and they just want to play. They just want to have fun. I just want to live life. I just want to be carefree. And in that process, they may connect with somebody who represents what they were missing in their life. Now, what did that have to do with how good someone looked? What did that have to do with somebody's personality? Nothing. There was something going on the inside of me. I was escaping my reality. For many people, an affair is them escaping from their way of life to pursue something that was lost within themselves. I told you we were going to go deep. We're just getting started, folks. You're watching the Couples Academy show. We're talking about the dangerous partner profile. We just hit number 1. We got 7 more to go, so stay right there. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. We're talking about the dangerous partner profile. We just unpacked the developmental lag, but I just want to let you know that developmental lag doesn't just exist in an individual. It can represent a season of your relationship. Let me give you an example how a relationship can experience developmental lag. I'm going in a different direction. I'm trailing off for just a second because I want you to understand something. This may speak to what's happening in your relationship. Developmental lag means that you've skipped over things. You've raced into things. And oftentimes, your relationship is only as old as it is non-sexual. Your relationship is only as old as it is non-sexual. So, we've been dating for 2 years now and, we're getting pretty serious and we want something more. Okay, so when did you guys have sex? Well, the first night. Oh, the first night. Oh, so your relationship is only a day old. 30 days later. Oh, so your relationship is only a month old. Well, how is that possible? We've been together for 2 years. According to developmental lag, once you step into the realm of sex, which is designed for those in a covenant relationship, just being truthful, we understand what it is, something shifts. Right? So now, once that's entered into the equation, the main connection, the main focus, the main drive, the main communication, the way you interact can become very sexual. And so now it's all about that. Now you know more about them sexually and physically than you do mentally and emotionally. Think about it. It takes time to really get to know someone. And some people are very passionate in the very beginning of the relationship and never formed a true healthy foundation for a long-lasting, mutually beneficial friendship. We hear this all the time. We want friends. We never took the time to really get to know each other. It was just like high wire and passionate from the very beginning, the way our relationship started. And oftentimes the origin of a thing determines its nature. So if it starts off one way, that's just the way that it's always been. And now we're trying to go back and build a healthy relationship that we never took the time to establish. And I don't really know my spouse. My spouse doesn't really know me because we knew and focused more on breasts and penis and vagina and hips and thighs and what we were doing than interests and passions and goals and all these different things. And now we're realizing that we're just two different people. And how do we come together and build something healthy when we didn't take the time to develop it in the beginning? So oftentimes when you bring sexual intimacy into a relationship too soon, outside of its proper season, the relationship doesn't quite develop the way that it should in order to have a foundation that undergirds the sexual experience, which is reserved for a certain season in that relationship. Is this making sense? And so that can also play into the affair and why we do what we do and the value that we place on such an intimate act or no value at all. It's just a thing that we do. And so developmental lag is a serious thing. So I want you to think about that in terms of your own life and in terms of your own relationship. Have you experienced developmental lag? All right, guys, let's go to the next one. I hope this is helping you. If it is, we want to know in the comments. Next, we want to talk about personality styles. Now, we've touched on this. We've played around with this. But personality styles, I'm going to read what it says. It says, an individual marries a spouse with a personality that's different than the one that they have in the dangerous partner profile, right? So you married your spouse because, your spouse was serious. And you needed that in your life. You needed someone who would balance you. You needed someone who was, determined and task-oriented and would be a good, parent and a good provider and a good partner and all these different things. And so you had your mind fixed on something. And so that seriousness was very attractive to you. It was what you were looking for. But now that you're in this committed relationship, you're like, can you just ease up? Can you joke? Can you have fun? Like, can we play? Now you're looking for something that that wasn't a priority for you in the beginning. Now you feel like you're missing something. And so your dangerous partner profile could represent someone who, oh my God, he just makes me laugh. She's just so funny. He's just so lighthearted. She's just so carefree. And now this person represents something opposite, something different than what you have in your partner. And that becomes attractive. They could look like Shabba Ranks. They could look like James Brown. They could look, it don't even matter. Because the physical, that's irrelevant. That has nothing to do with our connection. But there's a connection here. I just enjoy who I am when I'm around such and such. I enjoy being around such and such. The dangerous partner profile as relates to this personality style, it could represent a personality of somebody that you used to date in the past. Man, my ex-boyfriend and my ex-girlfriend, we just had this. First of all, I think it's unfortunate that we oftentimes look back at our exes and talk about what they were and what we had. And first of all, 9 times out of 10, you were much younger. Okay, whether it was middle school, high school, college, you didn't share responsibilities. You didn't make life decisions together. You didn't manage finances together. They weren't your partner. You lived in separate homes, most likely. You had your life, they had their life. You only had an aspect or a component of who that person is. All of those things that you would typically do with a spouse, you never had that dynamic or that type of relationship with your past boyfriend or girlfriend, in many instances, let's just say. And so to make that comparison is just completely unfair, but oftentimes that's what we do. We look at the personality of a past lover, boyfriend and girlfriend, and say, oh man, I just wish. So when you find what you had there in another individual, boom, it brings you back to, man, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm craving. And so in essence, the dangerous partner profile, once again, represents someone who is different, not better. See, that's the deal. It's not about this person is better than my wife, better than my husband. They're different than my wife and my husband. And I've been in this relationship for the last 5 years, 10, 15, 20, and I'm just looking for something different. I'm looking for something different. I had a dream in my mind of what things would be like, and it didn't pan out. And so I find composites and components of this dream in the personality of this person. Man, I wonder what it would be like if my spouse was funny and humorous and lighthearted. Or I wonder what it would be if, my spouse was serious because all they do is joke. Let me give you examples. So a woman, as an example, gets married. She marries a cop. Like her father. Her father was a cop. Oftentimes we seek out a spouse who's just like our opposite sex parent. So she marries a cop. But I just wish he was a businessman. John over here, he runs a very successful business, and I just wish, I don't know, like I get the law, the whole order and protect, and he's a great protector. We got guns and bullets all over this place, but I mean, like that business mindedness, man, there's just something about that I wish I had. A man marries a housewife because maybe his mother was, or maybe his idea of manhood, traditional manhood is, I want a woman who's going to take care of the house, take care of the home and the children, cook, clean, all of that. And I got what I want. But then something about Susie, man, she is so on it. She's this visionary. She's accomplishing goals. She's a go-getter. She's an earner. And man, that's attractive. But that's not what you sought out. And now because you want something different, not better, but different, you can then stumble into things that get you and your relationship in trouble. Personality styles. Is this making sense? Now, whether you agree, this is not about agreeing, this is not about right or wrong. It's about, does it make sense? Is it starting to click? That once again, it has nothing to do with physical attraction, has nothing to do with how good someone looks, but these are the things that happen. We're going to go deep with this, folks. Stay right there. We're going to take another quick break. Be right back.
Couples Academy is expanding its team to meet the growing demand of people in need of help around the world. So if you're a trained, licensed, or certified expert in marriage enrichment, infidelity recovery, sex therapy, life coaching, cognitive behavioral therapy, divorce mediation, financial coaching, or family therapy, contact us today.
Hey guys, we're back. I'm just reading some of these comments and I'm like, where the questions at? Usually you guys are coming in here with questions. Either you are lost in what I'm saying, or it's just like, oh my God, this stuff is real. Like, you breaking it down. I don't even have a question. There is one question though that I have here though from Facebook user. Do you think that that individual can change? So I don't know who you're talking about. Are you talking about the spouse who's being cheated on? Can they change? Are you talking about the one who's cheating? Can they change? Well, we all can change. Now, I told you all a long time ago, I remember saying this on a podcast and they looked at me crazy like, I don't know about that. But what I said was, there's nothing good about an affair, micro cheating, infidelity. It is all wrong. It's devastating. Guys, what I'm about to say, I need you to hear it in context. Hear it in context, because if you are caught up in your feelings, you're going to miss something. Okay, here's the reality. Get ready for the bomb drop, because I'm about to drop a bomb. Raise that volume. You can learn from an affair. Drop the bomb. Okay? I'm going to say that again. You can learn from an affair. Drop the bomb. You can learn from it. You can learn from an affair what's going on inside of the relationship, interaction with another person. You just say, can you change? Yes, you can change. Like, so for instance, it's not a matter of I have to become her so you gain attraction back for me. No. You don't have to become like or model or pattern an affair partner to win your spouse back. So if that's what you're thinking, that's not what I'm saying. So get that out of your ears right now. But you can learn what is missing. You can learn what to lean into in order to find a reconnection with your spouse. So for instance, Hassani, as an example, going back to like personality styles, people say this all the time. I don't know what they're talking about, but they're like, man, you're so intense. And I'm like, me? What are you talking about? Intense? You're so serious. I'm like, come on, really? Do I need to tap dance on the table? Do I need to juggle? Do I need to tell a joke? Do I need to have a punchline? No, I don't need to do that. But I'm intense. I am. I'm a go-getter. I'm a hustler. I'm zoned in. I'm focused. I'm task-oriented. I'm like, boom, get out of my way. I'm going after it. Now, being that 24 hours a day may not be good, right? I got to learn when to turn it up a notch and when to turn it down. So if I'm intense while I'm dating my wife, while I'm on a date, while I'm connecting, it's just like, okay, wrong time, wrong place. Bring it down. Calm down. Cool off, like just connect, be. So if there's something in her that draws her towards someone else because they're lighthearted and comical and playful, well, maybe I can learn from that because I'm learning what she has a need for, a desire for. And I could learn how to be more playful, how to be more comical, how to have a better sense of humor, how to be light-hearted. I can learn that. I can bring that into the relationship. And now I represent something that she's been longing for that I can provide her. We all have the ability to do that. When we get out of the emotion, the feeling, and begin to look at this from a different perspective, we could see, oh, that's how you trailed off. That's what was going on inside of you. And so what we want to do is we demonize our partner all the time and call them wretches and wicked and evil and diabolical, and you're this and you're that, and we're missing opportunities to learn in this process the why. You keep attaching morality to the why. We get it. Put that aside and begin to look through a different lens, see something a little bit different from a different perspective, and you may start getting insight on what's really going on, because there's always a root to the fruit. There's always a deeper component to why people do what they do. Understanding that will really make a difference. Guys, I told you, I'm going to take my time with this. We're going to go deep. I see comments coming in now. Questions may be coming in. We're going to take these and pick this up in tomorrow's show. Stay tuned. Typically, we do a Q&A. Let me know. Do you want to do Q&A tomorrow and we pick up on Monday, or do you want to continue in this series on tomorrow and then into Monday? Just let me know. I want to respect you and what you want, but this is the Couples Academy show. Come and get it. Come and get it. Come and get it. Set up a discovery call. Be at the Last Chance weekend next weekend. Listen, guys. We got what you need. Come and get it. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.